All right, you guys, so this time we're going to be talking about single deck rules. So we have shoe, we have double deck, and then there's also single deck. Single deck is not as common since it's more advantageous to the player. A lot of casinos don't really like to include it, but if they do, usually the table minimum is a little bit higher than double deck in shoe. That's not always the case, but that's usually what we've seen so far. So first thing we want to talk about is going to be the shuffle, although you guys probably already know what the shuffle is, and I'll just show it to you real quick. We don't have to get too detailed into this because we've already covered it basically in the past. So it's going to be riffle, riffle, strip, riffle, turn, riffle. So riffle, riffle, strip, riffle. We're going to do a turn and then riffle. Now, just like double deck and shoe, we have to be able to offer the cut to the player. So we'll take our cut card, we'll set it on top, we'll make sure we hand it off to the player. Just don't take the deck past the insurance line. So make sure that the player doesn't put the cut card between, I would say, 10 cards from the top or the bottom. We're going to grab the cut card and everything above it, put it on the table, and we're going to take what's in our hand here and put it on top. Then we're going to roll it forward. We do not need to call rolling for this. And then we put it in our hand. So you may notice the difference from double deck is we have 2 cut cards in double deck. But here we only have 1 to cover the bottom card. So you may be asking yourself, how do I know when I'm going to shuffle? That's what we're going to discuss right now. So in single deck and double deck, although not all casinos follow it, it is commonly done as a pitch style game. So players will go ahead and place their bets. So what I'm going to do is, let's just imagine that this is 2 separate players. So what I'm going to do is do my burn card. And I'm going to pitch to the players, peel, pitch, peel, flip the dealer's right card face up, check bonuses, and then I'm going to check my 10. And now I'm going to allow players to make decisions. Now, how do I know when to shuffle? If you notice here, we have 2 players currently here, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4 empty spots on the table. The number of empty spots is how many rounds or how many hands I can deal, or essentially how many rounds I can deal. So this would be the first round. After the players are done making their decisions, and I sweep up all the cards and I put the cards away, that's the end of the first round. Then I start pitching the cards again. That's going to be the start of the second round. So I have 2 here, 2 there, so I have 4 total rounds. Once I complete my 4th round, that's when I'm going to shuffle the cards. All right, so now we're going to talk about what are players allowed to double down on. Now, I ended up just changing the cards real quick, so you'll probably notice that the color changed. I just wanted to use these, I just prefer them. So when it comes to what the players are allowed to double down on, some casinos allow them to double down on any first 2 starting cards, similar to double deck and shoe, although the casino can change those rules for those games as well if they want to. In this one, because the player has a little bit of an advantage here, not necessarily taking over the house, but they do win a little bit more often than the other games, they want to try to limit the player's ability in some form or fashion. And one of the things is that they limit what you can actually double down on. So instead of any first 2 starting cards, usually the standard is only on 10 or 11, although the casino can allow it on any first 2 cards if they want to. But usually 10 or 11 is usually the only time that you're allowed to double down. Some casinos do allow you to double down on 9, 10, and 11, but it just depends on the house rules of where you go. So let me show you an example. So I ended up dealing some cards out. I got 10 up. I do not have a blackjack. This player, they would like to double down. So I'm going to fix the cards, clear my hands, make sure that the bets match or they are down to the table minimum or any value in between those 2. And because this is an 11 on single deck, this is allowed. The player is allowed to double down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deliver that double down card after the player shows me that hand sign of 1 finger. Thank you. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to deliver that card face down. Pitch games are traditionally dealt face down as far as the double down card, or if you decide to split aces and each ace only receives 1 card, it's usually face down. We can either lay it face down like this, or we can tuck it in the back. Either one is okay. So now, next hand. So this player, they would like to double down as well. However, at this location, this casino does not allow double downs on 9, but they only allow double downs on 10 or 11. So if I count the cards and I see 9, and I know that my house rules don't allow this, I'm going to hand them back to the player and say, I'm sorry, you're not allowed to double down on 9, only 10 or 11 on single deck. And then we proceed with the normal game. 20. Nice. 21. So the next topic we're going to talk about is what is the traditional payout for single deck as far as the pay ratio. Like for instance, shoe, you might see 6-5 or 3-2, and double deck, you'll see the same thing. Believe it or not, single deck, you will see the same thing as well. It could be 3-2 or it could be 6-5. However, traditionally, because the house doesn't have as much of an advantage on single deck typically, usually what they're going to do is they're going to pay the players less. So usually 6-5 is what you would traditionally see on a single deck game, but a casino can make it 3-2 if they choose to do so. Now, when it comes to single deck, we have another rule. This is actually a very important rule, depending on your location, but it's usually very common, is that when I first start dealing, let's say I start with 2 players, just like those 2. And let's say that I go ahead and I deal my first round. And after that first round, I have another player who comes in and they want to play too. So they decide to put a bet up. That person I am not allowed to deal to, and they can't jump into the game until after I shuffle. And just like we discussed a little bit earlier in this video, we know how many rounds we have to deal before our shuffle. So if I see this and I know I still have 3 rounds remaining, or whatever the case may be, I would go palm up, fingertips, push the bet off the bet spot, and let the player know, I'm sorry, but I can't allow any mid-entry is what we refer to it as. They have to wait until the shuffle. So I would say, I'm sorry, but on single deck, mid-entry is not allowed. So you just have to wait until the shuffle, unfortunately. Simple as that. So even if a player leaves and then a new player enters and you still have the same number of players, that new player that came in, they're still not allowed to get in on this hand. Now you may be asking why, but you can do it on double deck, you can do it on shoe. Why can't we do it here? Thing is, single deck is just one single deck of cards. So with one single deck of cards, it's a little bit easier to see trends and notice what probably remains in the dealer's hand. So someone will probably be standing in the background watching and seeing all the cards that come out, and they know, okay, there's a lot more 10s that are still in the dealer's hands. So then they decide to jump in and throw 500, 2,000, whatever, just a massive bet, because they know the next hand, there's a good chance that the win is going to be in their favor. So it's basically poor man's counting cards, essentially. It's pretty easy to count cards on single deck. So that's why that restriction is in place. So the last thing we have to talk about in this lesson is even money. When I refer to that, or when I'm saying even money, we're specifically talking about during insurance. During insurance, if a player happens to have a blackjack, they may ask for even money. If you've already taken the insurance lesson that we already covered, we kind of already went into detail a little bit on exactly what even money is. So if you don't understand what that is, go ahead and watch the insurance video instead. We get into more details on that. So this player is asking for even money on a single deck game. Unfortunately, it's not allowed. So if the player requests even money, I'm going to say that I can't give that. So I would say, I'm sorry, but even money is not an option on single deck, assuming that single deck is 6-5. So even money is not allowed on 6-5 games usually, but it is allowed on 3-2 games. It just depends on what your rules are for your casino. But usually 6-5, even money is not allowed. 3-2, it is. So I would decline the player, and all they can do is they can either wait and see, or they can put up insurance if they choose to do so. But even money is not an option. All right, so hopefully this was able to explain the differences between double deck and single deck. Single deck does have a couple more limitations as far as the player and things that we have to pay attention to a lot more. Yeah, I know it's kind of complicated. It kind of sucks that we have to pay attention to all that stuff, but that's just the way it is usually. So hopefully this makes sense. Just remember, you can watch the video a million times and hopefully you'll be able to understand what's going on. I'm also going to be typing in the description of all these videos a more detailed breakdown of everything that I cover here. So if you prefer to read rather than watch, it'll be in the description as well.